Hello everyone, I am Abhishek. So today I am back with part 10 of learning Angular 18, and today we have the directives overview first. So what is directives? So directive generally is to manage the forms, lists, styles and many more things in an Angular. And there are generally three types of directives. The first one is a component directive, the second one is attribute directives, and the third one is structural directive. ओके सो डायरेक्टिव्स क्या चीज़ है. डायरेक्टिव्स जनरली हम तब यूज़ करते हैं एंगुलर में जब हमें बिहेवियर मैनेज करना होता है किसी फॉर्म का, लिस्ट का, स्टाइल का और भी बहुत चीज़ें हैं. और जनरली डायरेक्टिव्स कितनी टाइप्स की होती हैं? नॉर्मली थ्री टाइप्स की: कंपोनेंट, एट्रीब्यूट एंड स्ट्रक्चरल डायरेक्टिव्स. ओके सो टू फर्स्टली गो थ्रू द कंपोनेंट डायरेक्टिव्स, just move into the code here part. So today for directives I just create a new component and the name is an Angular directives. So the first one is we have in the list is a component. So component generally a directive, and the part this is called a metadata of this particular component. The component name Angular directives, and this is selector. In the first or in the third video I go through this part also, that this is a selector. This is the name I used when we call this component in any other component. So I declare this a standalone true and then import this. Why I have used this I will let you know later. This is a template URL, this is style URL, and this is a variable I used in this component. So this is a component directives. Now the second part is then attribute directives. So what is an attribute directive? Attribute directive name suggests that we are passing some attribute to the component, or any property or anything that the component have some useful thing. So attribute directives have the, just I want to uncomment this code so that I will let you know that attribute directives generally have a three parts and three types. Sorry, not a part. This is an ng class, ng style, ng model, and ng switch we have take. So to make some correction, I need to that mark it as a 4. This is not a part. This is types. Okay, now let's go in the front end. So this is change. So this is an, I write in simple, that is an Angular directive text. So generally go to the first part. What is an ng class? So ng class directive we use to make to give some class on some expression or by method. So this part is an expression part. ng class is bold. If the bold is true, then we have the text bd class added to. If not, then blank. So जो एट्रीब्यूट डायरेक्टिव्स के चार पार्ट्स होते हैं: ng क्लास, ng स्टाइल, ng मॉडल एंड ng स्विच. हम ये किस लिए यूज़ करते हैं? हम ये इसलिए यूज़ करते हैं ताकि हम किसी भी कंपोनेंट को, किसी भी HTML टैग को अगर हम कुछ एक्सप्रेशन के साथ डायनेमिक क्लासेस देना चाहते हैं तो हम इसको ng क्लास को यूज़ कर सकते हैं. सो दिस इज, मैंने क्या किया, इस बोल्ड एक पैरामीटर को यूज़ किया. अगर इसकी वैल्यू ट्रू होगी, सो दिस इज एन, अगर ट्रू सो वी पास, मैंने पास किया टेक्स्ट bd यानी सिंपल, और नहीं तो मैंने इसको ब्लैंक रखा. सो टू चेक दिस वी हैव to go in this part. Just inspect the element and there is a class text bd. Okay, so this is the ng class by expression. Now I just also want an ng class and get dynamic class. Okay, so this is again getting an error कि we have used the get dynamic but there is no definition of this. So to give this definition I just create a method and if is bold is true, sorry, so this dot is this dot is bold is true, so I just want to return call by method, so else null. So if I remove this part, so this is given a warning. So what is the warning? That not all code returns a value. So this is generally what we statement is called. Then whenever this method is called, there is a chance that this method will sometimes do not return anything. So means if the bold is false, then what we will get? Nothing. So to make it in the outer part of else, I declare return. In the else of null, I also return blank. So there is no error. So let's save this part also. Now to get to see the output, so let's inspect this element. Sorry, there is some mistake. So let's jump into the code. This is all right. So we are getting some issue. So let's check this. So check in an ng class we are getting a text, full text, right? So I think this is something get wrong, and this is correct, that I am calling a method. Oh sorry, so this is not the right way. The right way is to just current class, which is initially I just put in this is an array. Now when we call this method, I just want that this dot current class equals to class name. I just method by class, and to use this dot is bold. Just save this part. Okay, now let's check what we are getting. So I want to close this. So let's jump into. So again we are getting the same thing. ng class get dynamic class method, and we are passing this. So this part, so again we are getting the same issue. Okay, so I need to correct this part. Okay, this to get this method, just in a constructor part, this dot get dynamic class method. So let's jump into the part here. So this is what we call, this is method by class. So this हमने फर्स्ट पार्ट में क्या किया कि मैंने एक ng क्लास एक एक्सप्रेशन के साथ बाइंड किया, और सेकंड में एक ng क्लास एक प्रॉपर्टी वेरिएबल्स के साथ बाइंड किया, और उस प्रॉपर्टी वेरिएबल को मैंने एक मेथड के थ्रू सेट किया. सो दिस इज अ टू वे. Okay, so this is what we use ng class. Now move to the how we use ng style. So let's jump into the code. ng style, just to use the ng style part. So first part is to add this part in import of this component. Now to use this ng class, sorry, ng style. How? In the same way, when is bold is true, so we are getting this error. So ng class, so in ng class again I just current style. Again this, from this we are not getting definition. Current style, again an any, then again this part, and to use this ng style, ng get style class. Okay, in style class I just pass here font size, and this is bold, then it will I set to the 10 pixel. If not, then I put in, sorry, when it's bold, to make it 24. And if not, then simple 10 pixel. And so this is correct. Okay, so let's see we have got anything else. This is style class is, sorry, I haven't get the class. Let's check the code. Current style pass here, the current style pass here. Now let's jump into this part. Again there is no such class added. Let's check the code. So in this I have ng class here, this much. It's an ng style, current style, again current style. In the current style I have passed the font size 24, and this is 10 pixel. So I think this is correct. Get style class. I haven't called this method, so how we will get this? So to implement the style by method, I need to call this. Let's jump into the code. Now have you seen the change that in style part we are get 24 pixel. Now if I go in the code, I just put this part to false. Again this is very small, so this is the change. So this way we can use ng style and set by calling a method. So ng style हम कैसे सेट कर सकते हैं? ng style जैसे ng क्लास में हम दो टाइप्स थे हमारे पास, एक हम एक्सप्रेशन के साथ सेट करते थे और एक बाय मेथड। द मेथड का जो हम टाइप स्क्रिप्ट में जिसकी डेफिनेशन देते हैं, उसी तरह ng स्टाइल को हम मेथड टाइप डिक्लेयर कर सकते हैं मेथड वे से। अब जैसे मैंने यहाँ एक मेथड क्रिएट किया, उसको करंट स्टाइल एक वेरिएबल में मैंने स्टाइल डाल दिया विद कंडीशंस कि अगर इस बोल्ड ट्रू होगा तो 24 पिक्सल सेट करे, वरना 10 पिक्सल सेट करे। और इस मेथड को मैंने यहाँ पे कॉल किया, जो हमें इसका इफेक्ट हमें फ्रंट एंड पे दिख रहा था। सो मैं इसको अभी के लिए ट्रू कर देता हूँ एंड फ्रंट एंड पे चेक करेंगे। सो यहाँ पे क्लास में फॉन्ट साइज 24 पिक्सल। सो दिस वे we set the ng class. Now this is the third part, ng model. Ng model is also a directive. So how we can use this? So let's jump into the code. In an HTML part, I just make an h2 tag. Okay, an h2 tag. I just ng model, right, and in span I just So for this, to make the value bind, I just add the model data. This is a string. This should be like this. Okay, so in the model data I need to this, sorry, I have to save this also. I have to save this part also. HTML part also. Now this I just input the model and just find this part. अब मैंने इसको save, I have to save, and this is giving us an error that cannot bind ng model since this is the not property of an input. So that means that then Angular compiler is not getting the definition of ng model. So it means that we haven't include this in the import. So ng model property is defined in forms module. Now see, error is gone. There is no such things. And this is the part, input type model, this very simple. And so in the front end we got this part, ng model. Now what I am doing learning Angular. So this is an example of how to bind a value to an input type parameters when the user interaction is in the HTML page. So I use ng model. So in the ng model definition is in which library? This is the forms module library, and I just put learning Angular, and this is the same that I write. I just put a span tag here, okay, to move it to the next line. I just use the br, sorry, like this. And I think there is some mistake. I have to remove this part. And if you see this, so now learning Angular. So this is model, how to use ng model in Angular. Okay, so this is the very simple part. So this is also, we have also the ng switch part. So ng switch part is generally a, this is the great thing. I want to explain this. I just remove 3 parts here. Now I'm just copying this. Now the next part is structure directives. So this is ng if, ng for, ng switch. So this is, so I remove this part from here. So the next part is structural directives. In structural directives we have 3 parts: ng if, ng for, ng switch. By mistake I put this ng switch here, which is not an attribute directives. This is a structural directive. Structural directive generally means that we want to give a structure to hide, to show on some cases we have, or to repeat the any HTML tag or any component we will use ng for, and also an ng switch part to hide something on the basis of the some case. So let's move into the ng if first part. So again, to use the ng if, I have to use ng if by common part, that I also import ng4 and ng. Then I need to use ng switch also, and ng, sorry, switch case also, and ng switch default. So I import ng for ngif ng4 library ng switch. What is an ng switch? Is a module which is present directive. That the definition of this directive is an angular / common library. This is ng switch default ng case. So let's move on to the HTML part. So to have this, the last, so let's start. I just add a span tag here. I put ng if is bold is true, then showing bold. Okay, so let's check in an output, showing bold. Okay, to check the other effect in the TypeScript, put this to false, and in output we haven't this the span I have added in HTML. You will not see this that. So this is very simple, that we are using star ng if. Okay, now to use ng for loop, I just copy this, okay, this part. Now see, if I want to use span star ng for let item of this part, again let I equals to index, and in this I simply p tag, and I am interpolation the values item dot name. Now in the front end, what we have got, we get this. So component attribute structure, this is the same that I used here, but there is some other way if you want to know. So this is an for loop. The one way is to use the for loop like this. Okay, if you put a cursor here, and the other way work as a directive, means we are passing or doing something with the span tag. So this is a directive of this span. So this is two way. In an Angular 17 version also we are getting this, in Angular 18 also. There is so many things to use for loop. So this is ng for as a directive part. Now the third part is model is level 1, level 2, p tag, ng switch default, default. If in an output, so in the structure ng switch part, the first is not coming, is coming no level set. Now if I put this part, so this value get changed, class A. If I put class 2, then this is class B. If I put anything else, this is no level set. So this is ng switch. So जनरली ng switch हम कैसे यूज़ करते हैं? सो ng switch, जैसे मैंने ng मॉडल हमने एक वेरिएबल डिफाइन किया है, जिसको हमने इनपुट कंट्रोल के साथ बाइंड किया था यहाँ पे, मैंने उसके ऊपर एक स्विच केस लगाया कि अगर वो स्विच केस लेवल 1 हम कुछ लिखते हैं तो क्लास ए आएगा, लेवल 2 लिखते हैं तो क्लास बी, अगर कुछ और डालता है तो नो लेवल सेट, और आई जस्ट चेंज इट टू इनकरेक्ट डाटा। सो ऐसे हम एनजी स्विच केस यूज़ करते हैं। सो पहले यहाँ पे आ रहा है इनकरेक्ट डेटा, राइट। सो दिस इज एनजी स्विच पार्ट। सो नेक्स्ट पार्ट, तो हमने फिर ये सारी चीज़ सेट की है आज। So today we have going through the component attribute directives and structural directives. Attribute directives have ng class, ng style and ng model, and also we have structural directive that is ng for and ng switch. We have done example of all the this part. This is for ng for loop, this is ng if, and this is for structural directive. This is for we have used ng switch case. सो आज हमने क्या क्या किया इस वीडियो में, हमने चेक किया कि डायरेक्टिव्स क्या होती हैं एंगुलर में, कितनी टाइप्स की होती हैं, और हर पर्टिकुलर टाइप्स में फर्दर कितनी सब टाइप्स होती हैं। तो एनजी ये सारी जैसे कंपोनेंट, देन एट्रीब्यूट डायरेक्टिव्स में एनजी क्लास, एनजी स्टाइल एंड एनजी मॉडल, हमने उसके एग्जांपल्स चेक किए। और स्ट्रक्चर डायरेक्टिव्स में हमने एनजी फॉर और एनजी स्विच केस को यूज़ किया। सो दिस इज़ द कोड, आई जस्ट नीड टू सेव दिस पार्ट। So thank you so much once again, and I love to get feedbacks and suggestions from you. So thank you so much.